Welcome back to the VTuber News. This is Salvi, the one who resides on the right side of your screen most of the time, and I'm here now just to remind you guys that I do have a goal for, at the very least, until my birthday in June. I would love to be able to reach 20k subscribers, so if you could please subscribe and continue to watch these videos whenever you have a chance, I would really appreciate it. Just a small reminder, of course, and do enjoy the rest of the video. This, hopefully, will be the nail in the coffin, the final nail in the coffin when it comes to the whole drama, not as in a bad thing, but, you know, finalizing the whole drama when it comes to Deme. It all started with her NSFW post, saying that she doesn't support any more NSFW being done of her, and just to accept her boundaries, which was fine. Chibi Reviews did, send constructive criticism, I think, in saying, you know, you have before said things, before you said this, you have actually pushed NSFW stuff, and people were saying it's just sexy stuff, but remember, a lot of sexy stuff can't be shown in work. That's what NSFW means, not safe for work. It doesn't mean that it's not, not nude. It's just not safe for work. Some sexy stuff is not meant for work as well, and that pure definition, I think, is what Chibi was going for. Now, Chibi's not the best person out there. A lot of people don't like them. They are not an innocent person. None of us are. I know I'm not as well, but we're going through here. And recently she has had good compliments on things. So things are picking up positively on things there after, people started actually doxing her on how she looks and things like that. And so there's some positivity going out there, at least, because people actually, this is why I'm mentioning it, people actually started doxing her on what she looked like and, calling her fat and blah, blah, blah. People started getting increasingly crazy with the situation. I'm glad it's dying down a little bit, but I did want to talk about the whole situation of her apologizing. If you remember, she apologized. She did her little apology, which was very passive-aggressive and very aggressive still towards Chibi Reviews, calling him a piece of S. It was a non-apology apology. And it says, after days of doubling down, Deme finally decided to apologize to me at the end of the latest tweet. Before she did that, however, she made sure to call me a piece of S, along with a few other things, despite saying she won't stoop so low. Progress? I guess. Not really progress. It's really like, I hate you, you're a piece of S, I'm apologizing because S hit the fan, and this is what's going on. It's what it seems like. Now, like I said, is Chibi a 100% innocent individual in things that he has done and said before? No. But the point is, you are shit-talking him, and you're getting a lot of flack for it, and you decided to make an apology, but you made an apology like a child. You didn't make an apology like an adult. I will say that much. And also, I will say, like I said before, Chibi also went and did a low blow by talking about the past situation that Deme went through with her ex, which is now actually not her ex anymore, but at that time was her ex, had used a weapon against her and had actually injured her with a weapon while they were together. So he brought back that situation, which was also a low blow, I will say. But I find funny she could have avoided this whole thing by simply saying she changed her mind over the NSFW thing, and I was okay with it. Would have literally saved her reputation. Honestly, I can't take this apology seriously because of how she casually insulted you as a piece of S in the same tweet. A lot of people were criticizing her for that. And here, despite VTuber Deme offering me an apology that called me a piece of S, she will never stoop so low. Deme went into posting on its official Discord, saying the apology was never intended for me. However, prior to the Discord message, she private DM'd me and apologized. So here we go. This is what was being said here, and we're going to go to the primarily just this here. I don't really give an S about randoms, and I don't even recognize the name, so I literally don't worry about me. Down here, maybe if I take a picture right in front of it, it would be looking cooler. I'm seeing a lot of messages here in Discord. Please, it was never for them, like about Chibi. They would have never been any of my viewers, or, the people like myself who are criticizing her. Look at any of the profiles and realize that I angered a group of people that I would have banned in my chat. Anyways, literally, this apology not only for me, but for my community to be able to move on. That's why it was a non-apology. It was a non-apology because she really didn't mean it as an apology. She just meant it as something for her community to move on, which is bad. I personally think I could generally think someone is a piece of S while realizing me in the wrong for doing it too. Yeah, but you shouldn't have called him a piece of S in the apology if you actually wanted to have it make a difference and have it actually be seen as an apology. And now it looked like you were doubling down and you were like, sorry that you got offended by what I said. That's how it felt like to me. And here we have this, as I always want to show all sides. This is these posts here are something that was mentioned before. And it says, obviously, I'm apologizing for my actions as a chibi, face for chibi as well. Never for his viewers or people against me. Forgive me. It was for myself. To forgive, as well as and for chibi to choose whether or not to accept my apology. And I feel like he's a piece of S. No, an apology is to reflect on myself and generally not do this again. Lowballed him as F, and I said in my apology that I'm generally sorry for even starting this whole personal fight. My own personal Discord for my community. I'm focused on talking to my community, and that's also apologizing not only for me but for my actions, because y'all deserve better from me. So I don't know. For me, it still feels like a non-apology. Still feels like, hey, you know, F this guy. But I see that a lot of people got offended by this, and a lot of people are really, really going aggressive on me. So I think I need to do this to save face. That's how it felt like. Yes meant that it was one for haters. Stop hating. Type S. I think some people don't understand. If Chibi doesn't want to accept the apology, it's fine by me. I understand there may have been something he wouldn't forgive. You apologize because you want to admit you effed up. The thing is, the way you did your apology, Deme, it's not that he doesn't want to accept your apology. He would have accepted it if it sounded sincere. He would have accepted it if it wasn't with a bunch of stabs to the back at the same time. If you weren't holding a knife in one hand and a flower in a piece in the other. That's the thing. That's the issue that he has. It's not that he didn't want to accept your apology. It's that no one out there would accept that type of apology. Hey, you're a piece of S. Please forgive me, but I still think you're a piece of S, and you are the lowest of the low. But please forgive me for what I said. But once again, you're a piece of S. Yeah, no, no one would accept that. Honestly, no one would accept that. And people who do probably don't think very highly of themselves. Just being honest. But hopefully, this is the last thing we hear of the situation, and hopefully things continue positively, like they have here with her getting some positive feedback on her body type and things like that, because it was wrong of people to try to still in the situation. I still think two wrongs don't make a right. Just like Chibi attacking her for what happened with her ex, with the weapon thing that happened with her ex, people shouldn't be attacking people for how they look. But I can understand why people do it, because this woman just doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down, and that makes a lot of people angry. I can understand it, but I do not condone it. Ooh, subliminal messaging. Follow the squirrel. Subscribe to the squirrel. This is not a psyop. This is just me being a dumbass. Ooh, subscribe. We are back with the continuation of the Onkey saga. I know it's been quite a bit of a saga for many of you guys, and some of you guys may be getting tired of this, but I just wanted to give you guys, hopefully, the last update on the whole situation. We're going to take a look here on Onkey Expo. It is going to be November 20th to 22nd. Right now, it looks very, very dubious at best whether it will actually be something to do. Because, well, first we started with Sock's VTuber agency saying that they were not going to be a part of it anymore. They're not going to be doing any sponsorship stuff, or their talents are not going to be there either. And we continue on with them clarifying, as we had mentioned before in another video, clarifying that it is not because of the AI stuff, although that probably still has something to do with it. It is not because of what other people were thinking, because they don't like speculation to happen. They're a very responsible company. They wanted to make sure people actually knew why they were leaving. It was because they had talked to management, the management of Onkey, and they were trying to figure out if they had enough security, because, things can happen. Usually they don't. Usually cons, conventions, they go without a hitch. You maybe have, people, little kerfuffles here and there, but nothing huge. Nothing that would cause concern for a VTuber agency or anything like that. But you have to make sure that there is something as, a protection against people who may be a little bit odd. As, people can be eccentric, and they may, end up wanting to either not understand boundaries or what have you, and you need just in cases. And the just in case is a lot of security. And that is one thing that the organizers of this whole convention were not able to satisfy for Sock's VTuber agency. You may think, oh, they're being really rough on the convention, asking for all this security and asking for this kind of stuff. They weren't asking for security directly for SVA talents or directly for SVA. They wanted to make sure that everything was good, so that they didn't have to worry about, any kind of situations happening. Because even with security, we've heard things that have happened at TwitchCon with, people getting hugged when they didn't need to be, or really, weird people. We've seen things like that happen in the past. where I talked about it as well, where, TwitchCon, someone approached someone else during a meet and greet, did pretty much assaulted them in a way, and had to have a security pull them away. That kind of thing is a rarity, but it does happen, and they do need to prepare for it. They weren't prepared enough in the time that they were given, because they were given months to respond to this. So usually a year ahead of time, you have, or at least 6 to 8 months ahead of time, you already have everything fully planned. If you don't, then that's a problem. It should be one of the first things you plan in the whole situation. If you are planning a convention, security, very important. Continuing on, thanks to that, not only has SVA pulled out, Mythos has pulled out as well. TrueTuber has pulled out as well. What is TrueTuber? You're wondering if these, who they are. Merchandise content creators, by content creators, for content creators, and there we go. We have TrueTuber here. Oshibar has also decided that they are not going to be a part of Onkey in any official capacity. They're wishing everyone success, but they are not going to be a part of it. Continuing on, VT Cards, another big vendor, another big sponsor, has decided that they are not going to be a part of it. Current state of things happening, we made this decision that we could give Onkey the space they need to deal with the situation. I know there's a lot of things coming out, but our time with Onkey working on cards and for guests was a good one. Payments were made on time and staff were always respectful. We wish Hex and the rest of the Onkey staff the best and hope that they can get things in order. Please do not use our name in any way to harass Onkey. So they're saying they didn't have a bad experience with Onkey, but with the security stuff that's popping up, things like that, they had to announce that they were no longer going to be a part of it. And it says that is not the sort of culture we look to cultivate here at VT Cards. To any talents exiting Onkey who were going to get cards, I ask you to please reach out. We would love to continue to work with you to ensure you still get your cards. So that's good. They're still working with the individuals who are going to be, we're going to be getting cards in general. We have some VTubers who says Eda says they're not going to be a part of this anymore. They were approached. They were going to be an unannounced guest. They were approached to be a part of it. They are no longer going to be a part of it. And that is, going on for them. Luca, same thing, decided to withdraw as a guest and will no longer be attending Onkey Expo in any capacity. Moving on with Gentle as well, no longer going to be a guest at there. You're just having guest after guest. Another one is Red Claw, another bigger guest. It says they're not going to be a part of Onkey Expo due to safety and logistics concerns both my management and I have seen. Considering my appearance was to be in person, we took these concerns very seriously. Yeah, if you're going to be in person, you really have to take security very seriously. And I'm glad that the people are at least being open and honest about this. Now you have Trigger Point that says people think everyone is using safety concerns as an excuse to pull out of Onkey without disclosing the real issue. It's not true. It says the reality is people are pulling out because there is actually safety concerns because they hired zero security, or not necessarily zero security, not enough. And they don't have a full safety plan. When you plan these things, I haven't been part of convention planning, but I've been part of larger gathering plannings in the past, in my past professional life. And I know that security is one of the main things you talk about, one of the first things you talk about, other than, it's part of the whole logistics chain of things you talk about. It is one of the first things you want to get vendors for, one of the first things you want to organize for, because you want to kind of be like, all right, we're expecting, let's say, if it's a small one, 500 to 1,000 people. How many security do you think we're going to need for this? You call security companies and say, look, I'm going to have around 1,000 people, expecting around 1,000 people, maybe overflow of 2,000. How much, what are the plans that you guys have for these types of things? What are the packages you have to offer for these things? That's something that they didn't do. And Onkey themselves also announced that Akuma Miko is no longer going to be a guest at Onkey because of, Miko pulled out. It wasn't so much that they kicked her out, it was Miko pulled out. Been announced in the Discord since it was first brought to my attention. Apologize for the lack of updates. When notified, speak to them and their management. Decided by both parties that it will be best if they parted ways. Don't know who handled this vetting, and I'm not able to find out as I offered to volunteer staff and out when sponsors started leaving, and they chose to take it. But this was handled as soon as I saw it. Apologize it took so long, so everything is shutting down for them. It looks like it may not happen. I'm not sure, but from what it's looking at right now, it's possible that it won't happen. Other people are mentioning that they were going to be to sponsor Onkey, no invoices that were offered. This is, I think, a lack of oversight from the top people for the people who are reaching out to sponsors for any people that were below them reaching out to sponsors, and just, you know, this was bad communication here. So yeah, the payments were done, but there were no actual invoices sent from Onkey. Continuing on here, and another one, Raya, has decided to do that. They have been treated well, so it's not necessarily bad treatment. It's just since this was the first con to ever be accepted, she does feel sad that she is no longer going to be able to be a part of it. But with the whole situation of security, it is, you know, safer for her to pull out. You have Zan VT also mentioning the things here about the whole situations that weren't settled correctly. And yeah, it is something that it was just bad management. That Zan VT kind of pulls through the whole thing about estimated Onkey would need about 50 to 60 security to ensure proper protocols and proper protection. And yeah, they were doing maybe one per every 50 or 60 people that were showing up. And that makes sense. And it is just, unfortunately, it's one thing that has to happen. And we're going to continue in here. Akuma Miko saying that she wants to reiterate that the fallout regarding the Expo losing his partners was not correlated to Miko's position as a guest. And there was defamatory statements being made with Miko's involvement and harassment that was happening. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why, from what it looks like here, that you know, things weren't working out between them and Akuma Miko. So it was best to pull out for various reasons. The harassment, it also, just me, let me just say something. Miko was probably not going to be super safe there because she had already gotten harassment on this stage here. It was going to become worse if she actually continued on. So I just want to give you an update on everything that was going on there. Sorry that it was long again, but I wanted to make sure to cover all of my bases once more. Kou Mariya is a female English language VTuber, initially debuting as an independent VTuber in 2020. She joined V4Mirai as part of the second generation Petalite with the Kou Mariya name and everything there. So later on, she did retire around 2025, and there were no good negotiations going on with V4Mirai. We know V4Mirai has had some issues in the past with the upper middle management. Every agency eventually has those issues. It's not necessarily meaning V4Mirai is bad, but there were some issues going on there. And she got it back. She got her stuff back in May 2026. They restored her IP accounts to the creator. She was Emilia Fell for a bit between that moment. She's still doing things as Emilia Fell, but she's also doing things as Kou Mariya because that is the brand that she started in 2020. So why are we talking about her right now? Because she's going to OFFKAI. OFFKAI Expo, for people who don't know, is a VTuber-centric exposition or convention where people of all different sizes of VTubing go and hang out and have some fun. And today we're talking about it because she's going there. Carnival Games, prizes, meet and greet, and more. She's making her triumphant return to the convention scene as Kou Mariya. Are you going to OFFKAI Gen 5? VFE is partnering with EDM US to bring you a Carnival Game booth experience, and that is where she's going to be going. VTuber Fiesta with EDM US. So she is partnering with EDM US and Chroma Shift and V4Mirai and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be various people there, but she's going to be going as her own thing. She's going to be doing her own thing separately, as not a part of V4Mirai, but just as herself, going to this whole thing here. I'm very glad that she's able to do this. Big congratulations to her, and I know this is going to go very well for her. Mizumiya is a Japanese-speaking VTuber affiliated with Hololive device branch of Hololive Productions. She debuted on 9th November 2024 as part of Flow Glow alongside Isaki Ryona, Kogane Nico, Rindo Chihaya, Inki Kiyara Vivi. We are going to take a look at something that they did here with Birth Explosion, Mizumiya Birthday Festival from 2100, First Birthday Live 3D. And we're going to take a look at the 3D Live in and of itself. And we are going to take a look here. Let's take a look. Let me make sure that the sound is here. I think, yeah, the sound is here. there we go. Lower the volume a bit. Sorry about that. They're really putting it all into the choreography. Holy hell.
この後はですね、ゲストパートにも行きたいと思っているのですが、なんとお祝いの映像が届いてるみたいなので見てみましょう。こっちかな？よし。なんだなんだ。
Oh, there we go.
君を笑顔へご案内。南風の観光大使でNijisanji所属、あやかきの末っ子。
あやかき？
水宮、お誕生日おめでとう。
Very nice. And then we have Iroha, Roboko, and there we go. Some more from Device there. For those who know, Chihaya, for me, who always gets the Device confused with everyone else, I have like, it seems like I have like a limit in my brain of what I can remember. I apologize for that. Let's go. So they're having fun there. See here, which Aki Rosenthal and Marin Sencho. And here you have all of the ones, her genmates, all of her genmates here, which is Kiki and Ivivi. You have Nico, I believe these are her genmates, yeah. Nico, actual Chihaya, which I've mistaken before, and Isaki Ryona. Very nice. Very nice. Gotta love it. Them being able to do it together. There you are. Let's go. That was with Subaru, of course. Bancho and Bay with her. There we go. Todoroki Hajime, for those who don't know who Bancho is. That's very, very active choreography. Wow. I'm saying, this is very nice. Here we go. This is, I believe, her original song here. There we go. So that's a little bit of that. That's little Chibi Sue popping out there, leaving. And here you go. All the different things you get for the merch. And a voice note at the end. There you go. That's all you can get for her merch. Big congratulations to her. And I always love showing these cases to you guys. I know it seems to be a little bit long. I do apologize for that. But I always like showing these to you guys. What the heck? Whoopa! I'm dead. Ooh! What is this? I've never had that happen. What happened there? Wait, how the fuck did I win?
I almost got first. I was in first and then I didn't have enough speed, so I fell down.
Wait, how did I win? I was the first one to fall out of bounds. That's gonna be it, of course. Well, that's gonna be it. How did I win? I was the first one out of bounds. I don't know how that worked. I have no idea how that worked. Like, I was falling. You can look at my stream, I was falling. Thank you guys for watching, as always. And, of course, take a look. And if you enjoy everything, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. All those things that YouTube asks of you. Really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.